Lynn, the first question comes from someone who I think you will recognize, and he says, Mr. LaRouche, as I'm sure you know, people like former Treasury Secretary Robert Rubin, Larry Summers, and others among us have been engaged in international discussions for a new financial architecture precisely along the lines of what you have proposed. And while there is obviously far more of an appetite for this now than ever before, at the same time, they all insist that this bailout must come first in order to give leaders time to act. Clearly, you disagree with this, but I still would appreciate your comments.
If you go with a bailout, you're going to destroy the United States in short order through hyperinflation. The bailout is intrinsically hyperinflationary. The only reason that anybody in their right mind would even think of supporting this bill is because they're scared. And we need a Gideon's army to pull through the reform. And some of you are biblical scholars, you know what I'm talking about. You have to take all the people who are cowards, who will not step up to the plate, as they say, on this issue, and say, okay, dear coward, we're taking over. We're leading. Now, the danger here, of course, is that you're going to have a French Revolution problem, as I said, inside the United States. You now have, and some of these idiots, and even my friendly friends out there, who say, please, please be cautious, let this bill go through so they won't shoot us. That's what they're saying. They're saying that behind the Bush administration, there are people who would actually use U.S. troops to shoot down people who want to oppose this bill. That's there right now. That is reality. And that's what some of these questions are reflecting. There are people in high places, including some very high-ranking people in terms of their background, who agree totally with what I say about this stuff, but they won't fight because they say, we'll be shot. We don't want to go into a death camp. Well, if we go into a death camp because we do this, the world will never forgive those who do it. And the world will never forgive those who capitulate to this. Anybody who's smart is not going to take on the American people in that fashion. You're not going to shove a dictatorship down the throat of the American people. They'll kill you. They'll kill you. And they can. Learn the lesson of Vietnam and a few other locations. They will kill you, and they can, if you make them angry enough. And you're about to make them very angry. The reason you're getting such a peculiar behavior in the House of Representatives background is because the people out there who are behind the people who voted against this bill, those people out there are ready to kill. Not because they're killers, but because they see the destruction of everything that life means to them is threatening them. They've seen a lot of it, step by step. They've put up with it. They've accepted it. They've crawled for it. They said, we have to get along. We have to get along. The time has come when they know that everything is being taken away from them, and that was too much. You're going to find the rage against the White House and against the Senate, in particular, is going to escalate in ways during the coming days of this week and next week, in ways beyond anything most of you believe. I can see it right there. It's there. It's coming. The mood in the American people, having gone through fake wars, they've had their children sent out into fake wars, like Iraq. It was a fake war. We don't need to go there. No need to get into that war. Then they made a mess of it, even what they started. No need. Look at the suffering of people who went in service, come back from that war, not with death, but injuries, but they can't get help. They're condemned to horrible conditions. And in every neighborhood in the United States, there's someone in that category. It radiates. Don't you see the hatred you're building up against Washington in the people of the United States? And this bill is one bill too many. You're headed for something like a French Revolution, and you're going to bring it on your own heads if you're dumb enough not to fight this bill and not to oppose it. There is no remedy. There is no excuse for supporting this bill. None. There is no moral excuse for supporting this bill.
From Ohio, the only way they can pass this bill is by creating and sustaining a panic atmosphere. That atmosphere is not justified. Many of us were told in private conversations that if we voted against this bill on Monday, that the sky would fall, the market would drop 2,000 or 3,000 points the first day, another couple thousand the second day, and a few members were even told that there would be martial law in America if we voted no. That's what I call fear-mongering. And a few members were even told that there would be martial law in America if we voted no. That's what I call fear-mongering.
But nobody cares, prepare for the future, but make note of the past, to be condemned, to live it again and get blast. Class warfare, kept out of the news, replaced by corporations, political views, cause this is where the guns are manufactured and sold, the land that was stolen, stripped of all of its gold, old timers on a deathbed, speaking of wisdom, immigrants crucified by conservative Christians, and we all got freedom to die in the street, but the difference is more of us die in a week than they die in a year. I made it clear where I stand when the line is drawn, but now the line is gone, and nigga, anything goes, the land where the guns don't let anything grow, and what the fuck you niggas know about living in hell? You're not built like me, you never lived in a cell, you never gambled with your soul, fuck the ice in your hand, gun in your palm, but you got a nigga's life in your hand. Young man, just remember that slice in a gram is a bloody